From a satellite's perspective, the Korean peninsula at night reveals a physical impossibility. To the south, a dense, glowing grid of electricity. To the north, a sudden and total void. Within that darkness, the state functions on its own internal timeline. Officially, it is year 112, a calendar that began with the birth of the nation's founder. Even in death, Kim Il-sung remains the eternal president, legally occupying the highest office of a country he hasn't physically inhabited in 30 years. This isolation is enforced by the criminalization of the mundane. Possession of a pair of blue jeans is treated as a cultural contamination, a crime against the state, punishable as a sign of American influence. Maintaining a manufactured reality for 25 million people in the 21st century requires a level of engineering that goes beyond simple physical walls. For 3 generations, the Kim dynasty has avoided collapse by perfecting the most comprehensive system of human control ever built. At the center is the Songbun system, sorting citizens into 51 categories of loyalty across 3 primary tiers: core, wavering, and hostile. This determines where you live and work. Because the state tracks lineage, a grandfather's mistake permanently consigns his grandchildren to the bottom. This collective responsibility is formalized in the 3 generations of punishment rule. If one person commits a political crime, their parents and their children are often seized alongside them. The final destination for these families is the Kwanliso, a network of political prison camps visible from space. Within these compounds, an estimated 120,000 people are subjected to forced labor, starvation, and systematic execution. By holding a citizen's entire bloodline hostage, the regime ensures that the cost of any single act of rebellion is the total destruction of everyone that person loves. To prevent the formation of dissenting thoughts, the state maintains a 24/7 presence inside the home. Every residence is fitted with a mandatory government radio that can be turned down but never fully switched off. Outside the home, the Inminban, or Neighborhood Watch Committees, forces citizens to monitor their peers, effectively turning neighbors and family members into an extension of the state's intelligence network. The psychological conditioning begins in childhood. Schools teach that American soldiers eat children, and that the Kim family possesses superhuman biological traits, creating a reality where the leaders are viewed as infallible gods. The state has collapsed the entire digital world into a closed loop. The national intranet, Kwanryong, consists of only 28 government-approved websites, entirely severed from the global internet. Physical spaces are also curated to deceive. Along the southern border, the state maintains Kijangdong, a fake village with automated lights and painted windows designed solely to project an image of wealth to those watching from the outside. This projection masks a different rural reality. Far from the capital, chronic food shortages mean 40% of the population suffers from severe malnutrition. The survival of the regime depends on this absolute information vacuum, ensuring the state's curated fiction remains the only world its citizens have ever known. The first visible break in this total control arrived during the arduous March famine of the 1990s. When the state's food distribution system collapsed, the population turned to illegal capitalist markets, known as Jeongmadang, to survive. People began to rely on their own commerce rather than the regime's provisions. These markets eventually moved beyond food. Smugglers began bringing in reality itself, encoded onto flash drives loaded with foreign news and entertainment. Despite the risk of execution, a significant portion of North Korean youth now consumes South Korean and Hollywood media. They are seeing the material wealth and freedoms of the outside world for the first time. As the population becomes less dependent on the state for food and information, the regime has doubled down on displays of external force. The nuclear testing and massive cyber hacking operations serve as an insurance policy, a shield against the threat of internal collapse. The Kim dynasty now faces a challenge that can't be resolved with military parades. Their system of absolute control is failing because human curiosity has proven harder to legislate than the borders themselves. Smuggled information has become the regime's most dangerous adversary.